A young soldier in Africa rises overnight, kicking out French troops, calling for independence and uniting nations. They lived in different continents. Ibrahim Traoré, a name that echoes across a new Africa.
A bearded cleric returns from exile, ends a monarchy, and turns one of the most westernized Muslim nations into a theocracy. But both became symbols of rebellion. Imam Khomeini, the revolution wrapped in a robe.
Ibrahim Traoré was born in 1988 in Bondakwi, a rural town in Burkina Faso. He grew up watching his country suffer poverty, corruption, and terrorist attacks. As a child, he admired Thomas Sankara, the anti-imperialist leader who was killed in 1987. Traoré chose the army. He studied in Ouagadougou, then trained as an artillery officer in Morocco.
Ruhollah Khomeini was born in 1902 in Qom, Iran. He came from a religious family. His father was a cleric, killed when Khomeini was just 5. He studied Islamic philosophy, jurisprudence, and mysticism. His early life was shaped by colonialism and monarchy. Khomeini chose theology. By the 1940s, he was teaching at Qom's Islamic seminary, famous, sharp, and fearless.
Traoré's philosophy? Pan-Africanism. He believes Africa must be free from foreign control, especially French influence. He often says, our enemies are not just terrorists. They're the ones who control our money, our skies, and our land. Traoré doesn't hide his anger toward France. He cut military ties, closed French bases, and blamed them for sponsoring chaos through double games.
Khomeini believed in Wilayat al-Faqih, the rule of the Islamic jurist. To him, a true Islamic state must be led by a scholar who protects Islamic law and justice. Khomeini called America the Great Satan. He accused the US and UK of backing the Shah, exploiting oil, and destroying Islamic values.
Burkina Faso was collapsing under terrorism. Over 40% of the land was under jihadist control. People lost faith in President Damiba. So in September 2022, Traoré, just 34, led a coup. No bloodbath, just strategy, popular support, and a military message. We will save the nation. Traoré didn't promise elections. He promised survival. He formed alliances with Mali and Niger, kicked out the French, and invited Russian advisors.
Khomeini's rise took decades. He first opposed the Shah in 1963 and was arrested for denouncing US influence. He was exiled to Iraq, then France. But even from abroad, he ignited revolution. In 1979, the Shah fled, and Khomeini returned to Tehran greeted by millions. Khomeini removed Western laws, dissolved the monarchy, and created the Islamic Republic led by clerics, not politicians.
France, the UN, and even ECOWAS didn't like Traoré's rise. He was accused of partnering with Russia's Wagner Group. But he said, we want partners, not masters. Western media often paints Traoré as anti-democratic. But for many Africans, he's a liberator finally standing up to foreign dominance.
Khomeini made Iran a pariah state. The U.S. embassy was taken over in 1979, 52 Americans were held hostage. This ended U.S.-Iran relations and led to decades of sanctions. Some saw Khomeini as a hero of the Muslim world. Others saw him as a dictator. But none could deny, he defeated an empire without an army.
Traoré's story is still being written. But already, he has inspired a new generation. Talks of an African currency, new alliances, and military pride are rising. If Traoré succeeds, he may be remembered as the second coming of Sankara. If he fails, he risks becoming just another soldier with good speeches.
Khomeini banned opposition, executed political rivals, and silenced the press. Women lost many rights they had under the Shah. He believed in strict Sharia and there was no room for dissent. Khomeini still has followers decades after his death both in Iran and across the Muslim world.
Traoré's story is still being written. But already, he has inspired a new generation. Talks of an African currency, new alliances, and military pride are rising. If Traoré succeeds, he may be remembered as the second coming of Sankara. If he fails, he risks becoming just another soldier with good speeches.
Khomeini left behind a state that still exists 30-plus years later. Iran is a major power in the region through proxies, politics, and ideology. Khomeini was never interested in compromise. He wanted an Islamic system and he built it, for better or worse.
Traoré fights with boots, guns, and speeches. His battlefield is the African Sahel against poverty, jihad, and foreign influence.
Khomeini fought with words, tapes, and ideology. His battlefield was the soul of Iran. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more real stories of power, rebellion, and history that still shakes the world.